everyone. We're going to get started. Welcome to the July 2025 Hoboken Education Meeting. Thank you all for being here. If you're joining us this evening to speak on agenda or non-agenda items, please use the sign-up sheets located in the front of the meeting at the podium. Ms. Lopez, can you please read the statement of compliance?
Good evening. This meeting is being held in conformity to the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, etc. Proper public notice of the meeting was published in the local papers on January 14, 2025 and January 16, 2025. If any board member or member of the public in attendance believes their meeting is in violation of the Open Public Meetings Act, the Hoboken Board of Education requests a written statement at this time. The board wishes to make those in attendance aware that this meeting is being recorded on video and will be broadcast by the board at a later date on C8 TV channel 77 and FIRES channel 46. The full meeting recording will also be made available on board apps, which can be accessed through the district homepage. The Hoboken Board of Education is committed to preserving the decorum of the public process and is mindful that we live in an electronic age of computers, cell phones, and other electronic communication devices. Nevertheless, we respectfully request that all meeting participants kindly silence their electronic devices during the course of the meeting, and if use of the device is necessary, we ask that you please leave the meeting room if you need to conduct personal business.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Lopez, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Ms. Ainley. Ms. Cavazzari.
Here.
Ms. Delar.
Here.
Mr. Delator.
Here.
Mr. Ryan.
Here.
Ms. Khanna.
Here.
Mr. Luplow.
Here.
Ms. Norwood.
Here.
And Ms. McGurk.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Since school is not in session currently, we're not going to have our typical student recognitions or reports from our Hoboken Middle School or Hoboken High School representatives, so we will go directly into committee reports this evening. Dr. Johnson, do you have a superintendent's report with us this evening?
I don't have a superintendent's report, but I would like to mention that on the agenda this evening, we have two appointments for a principal at Wallace Elementary School and also for a vice principal at Wallace Elementary School. Both of those candidates went through a rigorous interviewing process and were both selected. Stephen Dickerson is on the agenda for recommended appointment as the principal at Wallace Elementary School. He is an internal candidate and has been with the district for a number of years and has held a variety of positions in the district, from dean of students to director of our school-based youth services program, director of inclusion, equity, and diversity. And we also have Kevin Maynard, who we are recommending for approval for vice principal at Wallace Elementary School. And Mr. Maynard comes to us from the YCS School of Hackensack and has a vast array of experience in the field of special education. And with that being said, also on the agenda, we have the movement of Mr. Shannon from principal at Wallace Elementary School to a position that he is very excited to take on, and that is supervisor of social studies. Rounding out our supervisory structure in the district, in addition to Donna Diapunto, who's our math supervisor, and Christy Gavio, who's our ELA supervisor, we will now have Mr. Shannon taking on the responsibility of social studies supervisor, and also Jose Manuel Fernandez, who's also on the agenda to be appointed as the district's science and innovative technology supervisor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. Ms. Lopez, do you have a business administrator's report for us this evening?
No report this evening.
Thank you so much. We'll now move over to curriculum with Ms. Norwood.
Thank you.
The curriculum committee met on Thursday, June 17th, in attendance with Dr. Johnson, Ms. Angley, Ms. Cavatori, Mr. Upel, and myself. There are two curriculum items on the agenda. The committee recommends both for approval. 9.01 is approval of the acceptance of the NJA DOE Advanced Placement Course Expansion Competitive Grant in the amount of $50,000, which will be applied towards professional development, supplies, and AP test preparation programming. 9.02 is approval of a variety of field trips. Also wanted to apprise the public of a number of projects ongoing. One is the build-out of the financial literacy lab at Hoboken High School, with modular furniture for large meetings and smaller group projects, and a digital lectern, a Bloomberg terminal, and related curriculum. We wanted to thank the HPDF for their financial support for this project. In this new financial literacy lab, there will be a number of classes offered in the business realm, including Bloomberg training and business classes, and a variety of national equity lab courses, including a Wharton School Introduction to Finance course and a Cornell University Introduction to Business Management course, which will be taught for collegiate credit. There will be some updates to the Hoboken Middle School World Language Program. These are seen to be helpful for those who may want to try out different languages or want to explore other types of learning in languages such as coding or music, or those who otherwise don't want to take a full year of foreign language. And there'll be a rotation process with 1 quarter, a 1 mark period of Spanish, 1 quarter of Mandarin, and then 2 other types of language, whether it be language of coding, of music, financial literacy, etc., throughout 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I think we should start together, excuse me. And a quick update on AP scores. We wanted to announce that the program continues to get stronger. In 2015, 22% of scores were 3 or higher. In 24-25, 79% of scores were 3 or higher. So we congratulate the students on their successes there. Several curriculum development updates to the curriculum are ongoing, as described at the last meeting, as well as summer programs and specific efforts to close achievement gaps. Course / summer programs to prevent backslide and the extended school year continue. The college essay writing workshop will be in August, as well as the 9th grade summer Algebra 1 readiness program with Mathnasium and executive functioning. The Edgenuity credit recovery and English and Math high school summer school is also ongoing. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Norwood. We'll now turn it over to Mr. Gagnon for the Facilities Committee report.
Thank you very much. The Facilities Committee met on July 17th, and in attendance were Mr. Lahr, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Coggy, Ms. Angley, Mr. Kupfel, and myself. On the agenda tonight, on the consent agenda, there are 7 items. 6 of them are business as usual, but we do need to ratify them here. They are 13.01, which is the approval of the fire and safety drill reports. And then 13.02 through 13.06 is the approval for the leases at various school and city facilities for both Pope's Gap and Miles Square, which are the operators of our pre-K programs. 1307 is this month's facilities request. It is light. Both are at Tag Stadium, and I've sent you, on the agenda is the list of the organizations who have made those requests. In addition to that, the Facilities Committee really kind of focused on 3 different discussion areas. One was school growth, the second was the reconfiguration of the schools, and 3 was the Willow Avenue redesign project, which we are not the sponsor. The city is the sponsor, but we have feedback. With respect to school growth, I passed around to everybody a chart that shows the deltas. So once again, what we will anticipate is 2 things. One, the numbers that you see are a snapshot in time. These are changing, and they will change all the way up until the school year starts. And further, but right now we are predicting these increases. There will be increases at every single school, and some of those schools will be now put over capacity, and we need to make adjustments to to facilities. So I highlighted in detail what will be happening to Grant, Wallace, and Demarest to accommodate A, new students, and B, curriculum changes. As Norwood just mentioned, one of those labs, that lab will be built out over the summer. When you look at total enrollment growth, we need to get prepared for another busy year in determining once all these changes are made on the facilities, and then the next big change, of course, would be to be able to move part of our pre-K operation to Jackson Street, and then finally, this year, our long-term facilities plan will be to address. But people have been asking for this information. I want to be sure it got onto the record. One note is that the one school that is not over at capacity is the high school. However, it is the school with the largest percentage of enrollment growth. And so then I'm now predicting that somewhere in the next couple of years or so, the high school, we can also predict will start to hit saturation in terms of the facility. Last, we talked in detail about the Willow Street reconfiguration, street reconfiguration, and we only talked about it like because A, there was feedback in facilities, and there was feedback in several different committees as well. So we kind of just motioned, semi-motioned, if you will, in committee that the committee will lead the effort to collect the feedback from all the committees and provide an assessment to the city. And that is my update. Thank you, Ms. McGurk.
Thank you, Mr. Romeo. We'll now turn it over to Mr. Buckville for finance.
Thank you. The Finance Committee meeting on Friday, July 18th, the living room is annually Mr. Torre, Mr. Romeo, Ms. Lopez. The committee did review and recommends all agenda items for approval. Just one thing I wanted to point out on the agenda was item 11.14, which is a lengthy item, but in short, it authorizes the district not to take action now other than to investigate, work with Schneider Electric to investigate, create RFP and solicit and evaluate bids for possible purchase of solar power. Other things not on the agenda we discussed was that Ms. Lopez informed us that the annual financial audit schedule will begin next on September 8th. Governance item not on the finance agenda is 10.05, which appoints Ms. Kathy Curry as Assistant Business Administrator. Ms. Lopez also described us the new state legislation regarding public notices. I think it's important to mention maybe that here. The new legislation coming out of the state recognizes sort of the declining number of print newspapers, and historically all public bodies need to designate a newspaper as their paper of record for bids and for notices of public meetings and things. However, with fewer and fewer print newspapers, the state now is changing those regulations to allow public agencies, including boards of education, to make prominence their meeting schedules on the homepage of their websites, and also to make use of digital news media, as long as it's free and accessible to the public. That's a place for public notices. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Buckville. Now go to governance with Ms. Cavatore.
Thank you. Governance Committee met on Thursday, July 17th, 2025. In attendance were Dr. Johnson, Ms. Norwood, Ms. Angley, Mr. Buckville, and myself. The committee discussed the agenda and recommends all agenda items for approval. A lot of people already stole my thunder with the agenda, including Mr. Buckville. So I might be redundant. So just hang with me. This month's agenda contains a large number of appointments, transfers, some resignations, mostly for moves, changes to leave requests, athletic appointments, etc., as we prepare for the 2025-26 school year, which will begin with students on September 4th, as well as the usual workshop approvals and appointments of substitutes. There are a few items worth highlighting from the agenda, or highlighting again from the agenda. 10.05 covers the appointment of an assistant business administrator category, which Mr. Copeland just spoke about, to support our new BA, Ms. Lopez, who was also our previous assistant BA. Amongst the various appointments and the many internal transfers, you'll see the transfer of Mr. Dickerson to Wallace as the current principal under 10.09, item 30, and the appointment of Kevin Mentor as vice principal under 10.04 to support Mr. Dickerson alongside Ms. Palmer, who is the existing vice principal there. We were excited to have him join our administrative team. And as Dr. Johnson mentioned, Mr. Shannon, who was the previous principal of Wallace, will become the district social studies supervisor after he returns from leave. Also amongst the various appointments, under 10.02, you will see additional guidance counselors at Wallace and in Hoboken Middle School, the latter of which is needed to support our rising enrollment at the HMS, which is now covering around 500 students. Under 10.08, you will see the appointment of some of our very own students who are assisting the tech department with repair and refurbishment of the student Chromebooks over the summer. The various transfers within the district and primarily between our elementary schools is outlined in 10.09, and you will see the approval for payment of some additional merit rules at the principal and vice principal levels at 10.17. And that is my report.
Thank you, Ms. Cavatori, and we'll move over to Ms. Delar Wallace.
Thank you. I don't have any, there are no items on the agenda, but I just want to put it on the record that the committee did meet on July 17th in attendance for Dr. Johnson, Ms. Angley, Mr. Delatorre, Mr. Grana, and myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Delara. And I do not have the President's report this evening, but would like to extend my thanks to Vice President Angley for covering all of the committee meetings in my absence this month. So thank you to Ms. Angley. We're now going to move on to public comments on agenda items. As a reminder, before we open for public comments, over the years and most recently, the board has been asked why it does not prohibit or stop comments about school district employees from individuals who speak during the public comment portion of the meeting. The short answer is that the law prevents the board from censoring comments made about district personnel. The board does not condone or is devoted a party to comments as such. However, just because a speaker may have the right to say what he or she feels, it does not absolve the speaker from liability for any comments that could be viewed as defamatory by an employee. Should the speaker say something that subjects him to a civil suit, the responsibility falls squarely on the speaker, not on the board. Board policy requires that all speakers please state their name, municipality of residence, and business affiliation, if any. Speakers are allowed 5 minutes, and Business Administrator Lopez will quietly motion with 30 seconds left. Please address all comments to the chair. Board policy states that the board welcomes comments on matters of interest to the board, but this is not an opportunity for dialogue or debate between speakers and board members or the superintendent.
There are no speakers.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Before we move on to voting on our consent agenda, the board needs to take a couple of minutes to review the meeting minutes from our June meeting. The software that we use in order to get organized for board meetings was not cooperating with attaching these minutes, which are only for review of the BOE. It's not something that is put out to the public. So I will set a timer for 5 minutes for everyone to take a look through the 2 pieces of paper that are in front of you. You should have the executive session minutes as well as the meeting minutes from the full June meeting in front of you. And once the 5-minute timer goes off, if anyone needs additional time, please let me know. And if not, we'll move on to voting on the consent agenda. So starting the timer now. thank you for taking the time to review that so that we can keep the minutes on the consent agenda. Moving on to the consent agenda, is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Ms. Lopez, please call the roll.
Ms. Cavatori?
Yes.
Ms. Solera?
I'm going to abstain from 6.01 and 10.15. Yes on everything else.
Mr. Delasar?
Yes.
Mr. Bryan?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Lupa?
Yes.
Ms. Norwood?
Yes.
And Mrs. Dunn?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Do we have anyone signed up for public comments on agenda and non-agenda items? All right, with that being said, we will not go into executive session this evening, so that will conclude our meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
It is motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Enjoy the rest of July.